Welcome back to the Intuitive Health Studio podcast. My name is Kelsey. I am a clinical naturopath, and today I'm super excited to have Mel Heath on as a guest for the podcast. So, Mel is an integrative skin nutritionist and the founder of Your Root course. Through this episode, we talk about all things skin. We talk about nutrition, supplements, skin regimes, and is dairy actually bad for your skin? So, Mel comes from an extensive background of being a skin therapist. She has over 30 years working closely with women and understands how deeply skin concerns can impact confidence and well-being. After experiencing her own struggles with acne, hormonal imbalances, and gut issues, Mel went on to study integrative nutrition to better understand connection between skin and internal health. So today she combines nutrition, lifestyle support, targeted skin treatments such as light therapy, enzyme treatments to help clients address the root causes of their skin concerns such as acne, inflammation, aging, and hormonal breakouts. So in this episode, we are diving deep into these topics, and I'm so grateful that Mel could join us on the podcast. Just a little disclaimer, all the information provided here is for general advice and education only. So please directly speak to your healthcare practitioner before you make any changes with your diet or regime. And let's get into the episode. Thank you so much for joining me, Mel. It is such an honor to have you on the podcast. You're my very first guest, which is super exciting. So thank you so much for coming on. So I really want to get to know you and get to know your journey on becoming an integrative skin nutritionist, because I think when we're looking at the skin, we kind of just silo it to the skin itself, and the aspect of being an integrative nutritionist as well, I think just encapsulates the skin is more than just the outside, it's more the internal as well. So tell me about your journey to becoming an integrative skin nutritionist and what led you to this.
Yeah, thanks, Kelsey. Thank you so much for having me on today. It's a privilege to be here with you, with all your knowledge, and yeah, it's just lovely. So thank you. So really my journey has been a long one. I started as a skin therapist out of need for my own knowledge because I had terrible acne as a teenager. So I started, around the age of 14, had terrible acne. So I literally looked at everything. I had every cream under the sun. I went to doctors, was on all sorts of horrible medications that affected my gut. But I didn't really realize that at the time. It wasn't a big thing back then, back in the olden days. So that sort of took me on the path to skin therapy. So being a skin therapist from about the age of 17. And I worked in that industry for a long time, helping women with skin concerns, acne, premature aging, then, hormonal acne with perimenopause and menopause, all those sorts of challenges or stress issues coming out through the skin. I guess being a skin therapist, I've been a long time. And then again, mid 40s, I was faced with perimenopause, and then my skin started to break out again and I had gut issues. So that sort of led me to be a integrative nutritionist, specializing in skin. From my own personal journey. So it's a real passion for me personally. And I really realized over that long space of my career, I really realized that it was totally not just a cream that was going to fix my skin or a skin treatment, however they help, but it was definitely a lot more going on the inside, and the symptoms were showing up on my face and my clients' faces. That's how I got to where I am. And I'm loving it and loving being able to put the whole connection together. That's where I am.
And that's 100%. I love the journey that you've been on, and the fact that you have that firsthand experience of dealing with these skin issues, going through different stages of life, and all of these different changes are occurring, but also recognizing that connection of it's not just about what goes on your skin, but also what goes on inside your body. So I wanted to know a little bit about that connection and how and why it is important to look at the whole body and not just your skin.
Yeah. Well, everything comes from within. I, have found out the hard way. So yeah, your gut microbiome and your gut health, even your stress levels, that effect of, the mind-body connection. And it all comes through to your skin. So your skin's the last place it comes, and that's your warning, really, and saying, hello, there's something wrong here. Have a look on the inside. And unfortunately, the way our culture is, the foods that are everywhere, like half the supermarket is full of things that we really shouldn't be eating on a daily basis. Have become such a huge part of our diet. So yeah, I really think that the nourishing foods that we eat every day, and our mindset, the whole package, that's also about being an integrative nutritionist, is looking at everything rather than just what we eat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think it's a warning when the skin reacts.
Yeah. And that's super interesting. What you said was the skin is the last kind of sign. Like all of these different things are happening in the body. And then when your skin changes, when it breaks out, or you have rashes, or if something happens with your skin, that's the sign that, okay, we need to do something. But really, when we are, this is what I try and communicate to my clients as best as possible, we need to do a lot of the internal work. Like you mentioned, look at the stress, look at your digestion, look at your diet. Are you having whole foods? Are you having more of the processed foods? How's your nervous system going? Because if we're in that chronic state for a long period of time, this it's kind of like a domino effect. It just keeps going on and on and on, and then your skin, it shows up of what's happening, and you think, oh no, I have to change my skincare. I have to do all that, but really, when it comes to it, it's really the foundations we need to get in order, and then we can build upon that, and then that's when your skin will see the effects as well. What kind of tips and tools would you say would be the most important for skin support?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I 100% agree what you just said then. One of the biggest things I've really noticed over, particularly over the last couple of years is, people not going to the toilet enough, that sort of, that elimination of toxins. And it's actually really surprising that that build-up on the inside is creating this toxic environment in the stomach. So that's probably one of my first concerns. How often are you doing number twos?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's actually one of my first questions. And sometimes when I'm in the clinic environment, in the skin clinic, they sort of recoil a little bit, and they're like, okay, I don't know this very well, but that's okay. So that's probably one of the first things I will say, is, how often are you going to the toilet? And then if they're not, then maybe suggesting some sort of a liver support or, elimination support. But then topically as well, depends on what their concerns are. If it is more acne, then, certain products like a salicylic is very good for external treatments. Definitely omega-3s, things like that, to improve the oil quality on the skin. And skin treatments like enzyme treatments and things like that. But I will also, as you said, start with the foundationals first, good nutrition, whole foods. Are they getting 5 cups of vegetables a day? And the majority of people are not. So it's pretty sad, because we're in such an amazing part of the world where we have so many fruit and vegetables available. So certain things like that, if it was sort of aging skin, there's certain treatments like skin needling that are really good at stimulating that regenerative process within skin, and that sort of thing externally, but also, looking at their quality of food, and their elimination as well.
And just to add to that, I get that a lot in my clinic as well. It's people not going to the toilet enough. But one other thing that people aren't doing enough is having enough water. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not having enough water, and they might have 1 to 2 even cups a day,
yeah,
or they just don't feel like not water is necessary. But water is going to make you go to the bathroom. It's going to hydrate your skin. It's going to hydrate all your cells and actually help your body do the things that it needs to do. And that's like a bare minimum is having enough water. And I feel like that's such a foundational thing, and people might like be like, oh, duh. But I think when you actually look at it, and even in the hotter months, if you're not having more water in the hotter months, your body is going to know as well. And then that leads on to your gut health, and then your elimination, and then overall to your skin. So
yeah.
yeah, it's just very interesting, when we're talking to clients, that having these foundations in place is just so important. And I think, like you said so nicely, is really just educating them on, this is why we're doing these foundational work. This is why that over time your skin is going to love this.
Yeah.
Um, and one thing that I always get in clinic as well is people come to me, and because you're a skin therapist, I want to get your insight on dairy. What is the go with dairy? Good,
Yeah.
bad? If you have skin issues, should you avoid it? Is it something that's not really bad? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, dairy is amazing, and we should be able to have it. But unfortunately, I think you know, dairy is in everything now. Like, it's not just having a glass of milk or a piece of cheese, it's in so much else that I think, and with all the other things that we're eating that causes inflammation in the body, I think dairy is usually something that I will say, if particularly if they've got acne or eczema or something like that, is to eliminate it for a period of time and then see what happens. It is a little bit of, playing around with certain foods, but dairy can be quite inflammatory if you do have inflammation in the gut, or there's some, gut lining issue or bacterial overgrowth or something like that. So it is one of the things that I do say to eliminate initially, and then see how your body responds when you add it back in. Which is always a good indicator, I find. I don't know about you as well,
Yeah.
in your clinic. And the same with gluten and other inflammatory foods, just really strip it back for a little
Yeah.
while and see if that helps with the inflammation within the body, because acne is an inflammatory disease.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's presenting on the skin. So yeah, I
Yeah.
yes, I do say eliminate it. I hate saying eliminating it because it's got such amazing nutritional benefits. But when your body's inflamed, yeah, I would take it out.
Going on that as well, I am definitely the same. Like, I am not one to be like, you can't have this, you can't have that. But I think it's good for a certain point in time or a certain period of time, just to see how your body goes. Because everybody's body is different, and it reacts to different foods and different chemicals in the food differently. It's good to have just a good chunk of time seeing how your body goes. I'm never really the practitioner to say, okay, you have to take it all out for years and years and years. It's just about, like you said, that trial and error. And then that way you can see how your body reacts, because sometimes it will be great, sometimes it's not. And what I kind of what I do with my clients is we need to do those foundational work. If your gut lining is not there, or it's not having, if there's a lot of inflammation going, of course dairy is going to be more inflammatory. Of course, all of these different foods are going to be inflammatory. Let's work on the gut lining, but we need to remove that inflammatory food as well, so your body actually has that opportunity to heal. So definitely agree with you. And it's one of those things that can be very overwhelming for clients when they're trying to figure out what to actually do about their skin, because there's so many things online that it can be very confusing. And one thing that I've found through the years is there's a lot of marketing on different products, on different skincare routines, different supplement routines. And I would love to know, and you kind of touched on this before, but skincare routines, does it have to be like a 10-step skincare routine to get this glowing skin? Or what are your thoughts on skincare routine, ingredients that you're looking for?
Yeah, 100%. I agree. And it's just getting louder, the noise of what to take, like, I was reading this article on protein water. I was like, what the heck? Like,
yeah.
where did that come from?
Yep.
I didn't read all of it because I thought this is rubbish. But anyway, yeah, I agree. There's so many different things out there, and skincare is such a massive marketing industry. There's a lot of money behind the marketing programming for skincare in particular, and supplements. So, yeah, look, no, I definitely think with all my clients, I always start with basically just a cleanser and a moisturizer. Because usually if their barrier is impaired for whatever reason, if it's acne, eczema, psoriasis, premature aging, dehydration, they really need to fix that barrier first. So by adding things in like retinols, all that sort of stuff, is too much for a skin that's compromised. So I basically will just recommend a cleanser and a moisturizer. Back in the day when I was, 17, literally all my wage, which I was working at McDonald's, so that didn't really help either, all my wage went on skincare.
Yeah.
Then I'd have McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree, the foundationals. So that's one thing I'll do, is a cleanser, a moisturizer, because we need hydration on the outside, a cleanser, to do a proper cleanse. But then that foundational food is your 5 cups of veggies, clean protein. I'm not a fan of protein powders because they're usually full of junk and it's very hard to digest, the protein powder, particularly for women. Yeah. So, and one thing that you said before was the hydration issue. Like some people say, yeah, I'm having 2 liters of water, but they might be drinking 2 liters of coffee and tea.
Yeah. That's the old thing of, does my coffee count? It's like, no.
You're in depletion right now.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you functioning?
Yeah.
So I definitely look at that hydration, but then I'll say, so how many caffeinated drinks do you drink? The Oxy shreds and the pre-workouts and stuff like that have such a detrimental effect on that as well.
Yeah.
So 2-step routine for me in the skincare industry.
I love that. Simple is best.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I found that through my practice helping clients, and even with myself, with my skin, that your body doesn't want overwhelm. It doesn't it doesn't know it's going to have this like this fancy product or whatever. It needs simplicity. It needs nourishment. It doesn't need overwhelm. Like, it can get very, I guess, with all these different steps in the skincare routine, I found that the best thing for my clients is going back to the basics. Like you said, I love the two-step skincare routine: cleanser and moisturizer.
Yeah.
We don't need to go down the path of, all of these different things, because your body won't respond to that either. What about in terms of supplements internally? Is there any specific supplements that you would recommend?
Yeah, I really like the omega-3s,
Hmm.
so really good quality.
Yeah.
Um, Depending on their skin concern as well, particularly for acne skins, I really like a good zinc,
Hmm.
um, liver support,
Hmm.
um, a vitamin A,
Hmm.
those sorts of supplements I quite like. Probiotics, if the body's ready for it.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes they can be a little bit introduced too early if the gut lining's not great.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I like those supplements for skin support. Uh, yeah, and I don't know. You may help me on this a little bit, but the collagen powders and things like that, what sort of effect they have on the skin? I'm sort of on the fence with that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm also on the fence. It really depends on the person.
Yeah.
If they're not getting a lot of protein in their diet and their skin is not healing, they might have some joint pain or those kinds of things, then maybe I'll introduce a collagen. Or if they're not able to break down proteins very easily, really for me, I look at what's going to be the easiest for your body to break down first, and then we'll work on the kind of capacity to break whole foods down. Um, so there's a lot that goes into it. I think being uh, like for myself, a naturopath, and yourself, skin integrative therapist, and doing the nutrition, a lot of it is down to the individual. And I think that's the important thing about working with the practitioner is that we're looking at the individual, and rather than looking at an Instagram post of the masses of this is going to fix everything, but it's not. It's just marketing to the masses that that's the value of working with a practitioner one-on-one is that you're getting that individualized treatment plan for you, for your body, for your skin. So yeah, it's everyone is different. I think it's
Yeah.
hard, but yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
so they're pretty much the supplements that I would
Mm.
recommend. I don't tend to over supplement until
Mm.
they have their foundationals right.
Yeah.
Because, ideally you want to get all your, vitamins and minerals
Mm-hmm.
from your food.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, first, and then we look at the supplements.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So tell me how people can reach you. Where can people find you?
Yeah. So I work at Muse Skin Clinic in Port
Mm-hmm.
Macquarie,
Mm-hmm.
and do skin treatments, nutrition consults face to face.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just down on Bellbowrie, corner of Bellbowrie and Bay Street.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Beautiful clinic, offer a full range of skin treatments, which is really nice. I also do massage therapy, which I really do think is important for this day and age, particularly for women. We've got so many balls in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So I really do think, stress has a part on skin health. So I
Mm-hmm.
also do massage in clinic, which I love. Women just like, they just get on that bed and you can just tell they need to have time out.
Yeah.
So that's in clinic at Muse. And then I also do nutritional consults, integrative nutrition online as well through Your Root Cause. So yeah, that's all online. So that's really nice because I've been able to reach out to other, not just local Port Macquarie people. So working with a young girl in Sydney at the moment, working on her skin, and that's really nice to be able to connect to a broader area. So
Mm-hmm.
that's on Your Root Cause online. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, make sure you follow Mel and Your Root Cause. She puts out really, really great content about skin, makes it really simple to understand, not overwhelming. I think in this day and age, we need information that's clear and concise and not leading you down a rabbit hole that you don't need to be led down. So definitely, definitely follow Mel. But thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I really appreciate it. Gave lots of insights about skin and how to support your skin and keeping it really simple. I really love that your approach is about the foundations, very similar to mine and with my clients, getting the foundations and really just looking at the body holistically and not overwhelming it. I really love everything that you said. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to talk what I love.
Yeah.
And talk to somebody else that is equally as passionate about holistic health. So, it's been really nice chatting to you today.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Intuitive Health Studio podcast. If you did, make sure that you rate 5 stars in the show notes below, and make sure that you follow us on Intuitive Health Studio on Instagram and visit our website intuitivehealthstudio.com. Again, thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to speaking to you in the next episode.